Hey y'all, welcome back to For the Moms podcast. Today is episode 6. We're going to be talking about our births and how that went for us.
Baby mamas.
Yes, baby mama.
Hey Alexa, play For the Moms.
This podcast is brought to you by QNA Network.
I'm Kelsie.
I'm Jasmine.
I'm Valerie.
And I'm Ariel.
And we are For the Moms.
All right, starting with the first question. Kelsie, did you have a C-section or did you have a vaginal birth? Did your water break?
I had a vaginal birth for both kids. The first one was a planned induction. The second one was a planned induction, but my water broke the day that that night I was supposed to go in, but my water broke earlier in that day. So they ended up having to give me the Pitocin and that once I had got there because it wasn't really progressing. But yeah.
Okay. So I had a vaginal delivery for both of mine. My water broke with Ella, and then it did break on its own while in the hospital with Evie. I'll get into that in a little bit. They did go ahead and admit me, and they was going to start inducing me, and then while I was in there, my water just broke.
So she was ready.
Oh, she was ready. Evie was my big baby.
Yeah.
So for all 4 of mine, all vaginal births.
So nobody had C-sections.
No.
Wow.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And my water broke only for Morgan. The rest of them were like medications, Pitocin, and all that other stuff. So
Okay.
Yeah. No C-section here. Water broke. Well, they broke mine for Cadence because, of course, I was in labor for freaking ever because it's your first child,
the
right?
weirdest feeling
It is
ever.
when they stick that little hook in there and whoosh, whatever.
Wait, a hook? I felt like mine looked like a damn ruler.
Yeah, that's what the blue
maybe.
thing.
I don't know. It was
It has a
object.
hook on the end.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Because they break the sack or whatever.
Yeah.
Lainey, thank goodness, she was coming. Y'all, she was ready. Eric made me stop at Taco Bell to get him some food. But that second one definitely comes faster. I made it to the ER, got upstairs. They gave me the epidural literally as soon as that guy took the needle out my back, my water broke on its own. And I was like, thank goodness, because I ain't ready for this pain.
That finger sweep
That hurts.
worked. That worked for
hurts.
Ava.
Yeah.
And he said, after that finger sweep, you're going to be in labor within 24 hours. And that was with Ava. And it 100% worked.
Yeah.
And I was so excited being pregnant with Mason. I'm like, oh, good. We're going to do that finger sweep. And he's going to be on his way in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Did not work for him because my cervix was not soft. So everybody's...
Yeah, I feel like everybody is
So
different.
finger
a
sweep
little
only
different.
works, honestly, as if your cervix is...
So with Lainey, fun thing, I went in the day before for like my regular checkup, and they were like, your fluid levels are a little low, go home, drink a bunch of water, but if they're not, come back in the morning and we're going to check them again. If they're still low, we're going to induce you. And I'm like, I ain't getting induced, like, in my head. So I went home and Googled something called the midwives tea, y'all. And I immediately went to the store, got all the ingredients, chugged that baby. Within 6 hours, I was in labor. Now, I don't know how much of it was she was just ready to come or if the tea actually worked, but because I was already like 2 centimeters dilated. So she was probably coming anyway, but I was like, Eric, this baby's coming tonight. And
That's
he did
how I
not
felt with the
believe me.
castor oil. I tried to
So
drink
it's got castor oil in it.
I could not even put that shit on my lips. I was gagging so bad. So no, I did not drink it, but I attempted.
I did
Oh,
not
I did.
try anything besides
Yeah.
curb walking and a lot of sex.
And the ball. I bounced on the ball.
Yeah.
The curb
But
walking.
the castor oil is terrible.
Yeah, I could
Well,
never.
My water broke with Whitley. I like literally squatted down at the dryer and I said, I think my water just broke.
Oh, like in the house then?
Yeah.
Oh, my
Oh,
water
wow.
broke
Mine
at
broke in
home
the house too.
Really?
Yeah.
on April Fool's Day. So everybody thought I was joking.
My water broke.
Yeah, Morgan
No,
is an
you're
April
joking.
Fool's baby, and nobody believed me.
Oh,
Even
that's
her own dad didn't believe me. He
funny.
said, let me know when you get to the hospital. I'm like, I am in labor. My water just broke.
So I want, because I've never had it happen. It's always broke at the hospital. How's the cleanup for that?
It's...
My husband threw up.
It wasn't too bad. I mean, I remember going to take a nap, and then I was like, oh, let me go pee real quick. So as soon as I got out of the bed, I heard a pop. And then I could like push. And it just felt like you're peeing, but it was just...
So it wasn't like the gush, like...
No, I
Okay,
had to keep on...
yeah.
I was trying to push it all out when I
Yeah.
was using the bathroom.
Because
just
mine
trying
in
to
the
push it all
hospital
out.
with Lainey was a gush in that
Yeah.
bed. Like, it was just like a flood in the bed.
It did.
And
I do
was
remember
like,
that.
Okay.
But I think if it broke on its own, I just felt like I had to like force it out. Keep
Okay.
trying to get it all out because I just
Oh,
took
yeah,
I
not
rolled up a
mine.
kitchen towel and stuck it in there and yes. Not
Oh.
in there. In my underwear, Jasmine. Like I was wearing a diaper or pad. Her eyes.
She was like, what?
Damn. Yeah, so mine broke in the bed. So
lovely.
I'll tell the whole story
go
in
ahead.
a little bit. So I guess I'll just give a brief rundown of Ella's birth, my first. Josh was on a turnaround. He was working 7/12s. He was super tired. It was, I believe, a Thursday or a Friday night. I woke him up at like 1 o'clock in the morning and I was like, Josh, I am in labor. Keep in mind, this is my first kid. I wasn't really close to my mom or really even his mom at the time. Like me and his mom were close, but I didn't really have that guidance. Like wasn't texting, asking questions.
Right.
So I woke Josh up and I was like, Josh, I think I'm in labor. He was like, okay. He was like, can I just get like one more hour of sleep? Like, do you think you can make it another hour? And I was like, yeah. Like, I was just contracting. It's not like my water broke, nothing like that. Well, I woke him up another hour later and I was like, we gotta go. There was like every 3 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So I already had everything in the truck. I was 36 weeks and like 4 days. Had everything in the truck. He got up, got dressed for work because just in case, like he
He could go.
because he was on 7/12s. So he brings me to the hospital and they check me in. I was like 2 or 3 centimeters dilated and I was contracting every 2 to 3 minutes consistently and they were bad. Well, they monitored me for several hours. That was probably like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And then they gave me a pain shot because of how bad my contractions were. And they were like, look, you're not dilating any. We're going to give you this pain shot and you can just go home. They said, if your contractions get like 1 to 2 minutes apart, come back. Or, obviously if your water breaks, something like that. We get home and Josh has sleep apnea. For some odd reason, he went to sleep on the couch and he never does that. So he went to sleep on the couch. I went and got in our bed, went to sleep. And then I woke up about 9 o'clock that morning because my water broke. I start yelling for Josh, trying to get him awake. Again, he's got sleep apnea and he will sleep through a train come through the house. Finally got him awake and he starts throwing up as soon as I tell him my water broke. He
So
didn't
he didn't even see anything.
No.
Just the thought of it.
Josh has the weakest stomach ever.
Poor baby.
Weakest stomach. He starts throwing up in the house. So then I'm cleaning up throw up with my water broke.
In labor.
In active labor. And he goes outside. He was like, come on, everything's in the truck. Let's go. So I'm mopping up throw up. And then I'm going down the steps to go get in the truck. He says, hey, I forgot my dip on the counter. Can you grab it? If I come back in, I'm going to throw up.
No.
That's so
Yeah,
Josh.
that is so Josh.
So I go back inside to grab the dip and we're on the way. And I'm like, Josh, stop at Burger King and get me something to eat. I said, they're not going to let me eat. I need food. He is ordering and I start yelling and I'm like, get me to the hospital now. I think she's coming. So he skirts and we go on to the hospital. And then that was probably, I don't know, maybe 10:30 that we got to the hospital. I didn't have her till 3:14 that evening. So I was in active labor
that's
for,
that first baby,
quite a while. But yeah, that's Ella's story.
Yeah.
And then, so our next question was, did any of us have birth plans? And we have kind
Hell
of,
no.
No.
we're not those parents.
So I thought for like a half a second with Lainey, like, oh, I might do this natural, right? And I get into the hospital and I'm contracting, and he's like, do you want the epidural? I was like, yeah, please give it to me.
Yeah.
I can't do this.
Yes.
Epidural all
But
the way.
kudos to you. My sister-in-law went all natural with her second. She's a superhero. If y'all can do it.
I almost
Get it, girl.
went all natural with Mason because, okay, so when my cervix wouldn't soften on its own, they put that little pill behind your cervix trying to get it to soften.
Whatever, yeah.
Yes, so they will do it and then they recheck it in 2 hours and then recheck it in 2 hours. Well, I had 3 doses of it and all of a sudden it hit all at one time.
Right.
I went from like 2 to 7 or 8 really, really fast.
Oh,
And then they
wow.
already put in for the anesthesiologist to come do my epidural. Well, he was working on somebody. He had emergency C-section downstairs and I was not priority. So when I say Mark was so scared, he said that I was screaming so loud, people in the hallway could hear me. It was that painful.
Wow, I bet. I
When
can't
I was-
imagine.
Yeah.
Gripping.
I was gripping the side
Yeah.
of the bed so
Yeah, I remember
hard.
the contractions.
It hurt.
I couldn't imagine doing it without an
I
epidural.
could not
the whole
imagine.
thing. Like
It's
I
not-
did it for the few hours, like in
Yeah.
the beginning, because you can't get it before a certain point.
Right, yeah.
and I
But
almost missed it. Almost missed
Yeah,
it. But
'cause after a certain point, they won't give
I
it to you.
almost
not-
missed it with Whitley.
it's not like I honestly love the birth process.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
the hospital. I love it, but I want it to be like a good experience. And I feel like when you're in pain like that, it's not a good
Yeah,
experience.
it's rough. It's rough.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So were you medicated for any of yours?
Heavily. No, my first one, Charlie, she was a planned induction. We went in, they started the Pitocin. They gave me the pain shot the first right before. Well, that made me very, very sick. So then I was sick. I slept. I was only in labor for about 12 hours with her. I went in at 2, had her at 2 the next day. So with her, I threw up, finally fell asleep for a little while. They came in, they're like, okay, it's time to start pushing. I pushed for like 5 minutes with her, came out, but I threw up while I was throwing up while I was pushing
Oh my
with
gosh,
her.
that's horrible.
That was miserable. Whitley, my water broke, took a shower, finished eating dinner. Then I went to the hospital. They finished breaking my water, then went up, and she kind of let me go on my own for a little, probably like an hour. And then she's like, no, let's just go ahead and do Pitocin. We started the Pitocin, and then after that, bounced on the ball. Well, I kind of dealt through the contractions for a little while. They weren't too bad. Well, I was like, okay, I'll get my epidural now. She came, my doctor was on call that night. So she left. She's like, I'll be back later. So she left. It was probably like 10:30, and they gave me my epidural, and 2 minutes later, I start throwing up again. I'm throwing up. Well, she's like, let me check you one more
So you had
time.
a reaction to the epidural then?
It was I don't know if it's just a reaction to the epidural, but it made me so nauseous because I was already so far. She didn't check me. I was so far. I was already at a 10. And she's like, just let me check you real quick. And she's like, okay, hold on. Don't throw up. I'm going this whole time. And she's holding Whitley's head in.
Yeah.
She's like, somebody call the doctor back now. Like, she needs to come back. And so she comes running in, and it's an influx of everybody. So my epidural wasn't even fully kicked in yet. So I pretty much felt everything with that.
It
I had the
hurts.
epidural,
Yeah.
but I didn't. It was
That's
pointless.
Yeah, that
I made sure after I went through that experience with Mason, with Austin, I was calling anesthesiologist the first little contraction. I was
From
like,
the time
I am
my water
not gonna
broke
miss it.
with Whitley till the time that I had her, it was only about 6 hours.
That's
so
not bad. That's
it
how
wasn't-
Lainey was really
Oh,
fast.
mine
with
went
that.
really
quick.
fast.
So
too.
with Cadence, I was in labor for like 16 hours or something. And my epidural was positional, and they had to sit me up to help her drop because we didn't know it at the time, but the cord was wrapped around her neck, so she couldn't drop properly. And every time they would sit me up in the bed, the top part of my abdomen, the epidural wouldn't work.
Oh,
So I
no.
felt all the contractions along the top part. So I'm just like, but I mean, it worked. She came out, so it was fine. But y'all, that's hard.
Did y'all have a mirror down there?
No.
I did for Whitley. I wanted it. Josh was like, "You're weird. Why?"
No.
And he's like, "I don't even want to look."
My sister took a video.
But
of
my
Lainey.
mom was videoing. She got up in there.
She got all
She
of
watched
it.
her come out.
Yeah, my sister
So,
was like that. She
yeah.
took all the
Charlie
pictures.
wants to watch the video all the time. I'm like, baby, no.
Not yet.
No.
Since Austin was a COVID baby, I wanted Morgan to be in the room since I felt like she was old enough, and Mark's mom in the room. But being that it was COVID, nobody could go in, and Mark couldn't even
loved
leave
it.
the room. But my doctor allowed to put Morgan and his mom on FaceTime, so they got to watch it
Aw.
through FaceTime.
That's sweet.
So I've done quite a few birth photography, and during COVID, we had the FaceTime set up for all of
That's
all
cute.
of them.
I like that they did that.
Oh,
Lainey was, but Women's Hospital at the time
Yeah.
allowed your spouse and one other person.
Yep, I didn't
but
have
they
nobody.
they couldn't leave. They couldn't leave the room.
nobody can be in here. Just me and Josh. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so it was Josh and my sister. I mean, not Josh.
They only
Listen to me.
allowed one.
Eric and my sister for actually both of my births because I wanted my sister in there. And they were cracking up with Kate. I mean, with Cadence. Eric and Brandy, my sister, were literally cracking jokes the entire time while I'm trying to push. They're laughing at each other. And I had the epidural shakes. Did y'all have that?
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Very bad.
And I'm just like looking at them like, would y'all shut up?
Josh and my mom too, and then my mom was crying. Oh, I was like, shut up.
The doctor asked Josh if he wanted to cut the cord. He was like, "No, I'll pass out."
Oh,
Josh
really?
did.
Oh, yeah, I guess
Same
they
for
threw up.
Eric. The doctor made him cut it with Lainey because we were like, we're done having kids after this. She's like, Dad, this is your last chance. And she literally handed the cord and the scissors to him, and she's like, you have to cut this.
I can't remember if
And he's
Josh
glad
did
he
it for
did.
Evie or not. I can't remember. I'll have to
Yeah.
ask him. But I'm almost certain for Ella he did not.
Josh
he
didn't
didn't
cut
wanna do
very
it.
good on Whitley, so
Ah,
she's
He's
still
fired.
attached.
Yeah.
She's still attached.
Same. If Josh did cut it, he
Evie's
left
still
some
attached.
hanging.
Why?
Yeah. I tell y'all what worked really well for me during both of my births. And for anybody that's pregnant, if you are having trouble dilating in the hospital, ask for the peanut ball.
Yes.
Y'all,
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah.
It does work.
I went from
Yeah.
like, I don't know, like from a 5 to a 10 in 30 minutes.
Yep, I
Yeah.
did that with Austin, and I knew the nurse. I know her
Yeah.
personally, and I was like, "She's coming out.
Yeah.
She is coming." Like it was,
That
I could feel the
peanut
pressure.
ball
It
works.
does.
100%.
So with Lainey, I knew that because one of my best friends at the time was a labor and delivery nurse. And she's like, make sure you keep your hips open. And I'm like, I'm ready to have this baby. I don't want to be another 16-hour labor. So I went into the hospital, laying with my legs propped up, and literally they had to like tell me not to cough because that's how fast she was coming. They're like, the doctor's not here yet. Don't move.
And that was
Same.
the first time they offered that peanut ball to me.
I had the
With all
peanut
4
ball.
of them, only had it with Austin.
Really? So I had Ella in 16 and Evie in 18, and I got it with both.
I had the peanut ball with Charlie. Whitley, I did not because I went from a 3 to a 10, and as soon as I got the epidural,
Like 0
and
to 60.
so that's why I
Yeah.
got so sick, and that's why she came so fast.
Yeah.
So
Did any of y'all have complications? I guess we'll start with Kelsie.
I did not have complications with birth, birth wise, like, actual birth. Charlie was my NICU baby. I'll just briefly go over that real quick.
She's $1 million baby.
Yeah, she's our $1 million baby. It was very unexpected. You're a first time mom. You don't expect your baby to go in the NICU. Like, if you knew about it firsthand, it'd be different, but it was very unexpected. Everything was fine up until the birth. She swallowed a bunch of fluid coming out. So they took her. We got to hold her for a minute. She didn't really latch on and breastfeed or anything. So they just kind of gave her some time. We got up to the mother baby room because where I delivered, you have 2 different rooms. And as soon as we got in there, that nurse yanked her out of Josh's hands so quick because she was already purple. And they were like, no, she's got to go to the NICU. So they brought her to there's a place they go before the NICU. I don't remember what it's called. And they just kind of monitored that night. They were like, oh, she has pneumonia. I'm like, how the hell does she have pneumonia? She just came out of me. So 2 days later, she ended up being in the NICU at Women's Hospital for 4 days. We go home. We come back. We go home, and we had already visited her that morning. We're sitting at home, and the doctor calls me. He's like, the helicopter's already on her way. Children's has already accepted your baby. The helicopter will be here in about 15 minutes. I suggest you be here when they get here. So I grab a suitcase. We throw everything in there because Children's was in New Orleans. We live in Baton Rouge. We're flying to the hospital. Luckily, we only live about 10 minutes from the hospital. We get there. They're already wheeling up like the incubator and everything. I didn't even get to watch her go into the helicopter, so I have no footage of that. They were pretty much like, before she gets too critical, they wanted to send her to Children's because they thought she was going to need ECMO, which is them stopping her heart, putting her pretty much on a bypass machine to pump her blood and oxygenate her blood, because that's pretty much what it was. She was born full term with premature lungs, so her blood was not oxygenating, and so therefore they gave her like surfactant, which is like kind of help her lungs. Nothing was working, and she was getting so swollen. By the time we got to Children's the next morning, her oxygen was starting to go up a little bit. Well, they had her very sedated for about 3 weeks straight. So when she came off of the sedation, she had very bad withdrawals, which stopped her from eating. And so then that was a whole thing in itself, trying to get her to learn how to drink a bottle at 4 weeks old. Everything. It was just very unexpected for a new mom. So my postpartum with that was, I didn't have time to be depressed. I didn't have time to do anything because I was literally up and gone. Like it was, we pretty much moved to New Orleans for about a month and a half while she was there. And now she's very healthy, happy, thriving 5-year-old. So
Good.
Yeah.
freak accident, literally.
That's crazy.
It was, not an accident. It was like a freak thing, really and truly. They monitored me with it with
So
Whitley.
they figured it out after y'all were already home that she had the premature lungs? Like
They figured it out like day 3. Well, we
Okay.
had the cardiologist, neurologist, we had everybody. And the cardiologist was like, it's not her heart. It's just not her blood was not oxygenating. So she was like blue. Her lips were purple. And her breathing was like a
yeah.
constant. Like I have all the
Struggle.
pictures and you can like watch them live and see the way she was breathing. They did like the CPAP machine first. Then the next day she was intubated, and then she was intubated and sedated for 3 weeks straight.
Oh,
I
wow.
didn't get to hold her until she was probably 4 weeks old. So
Oh,
yeah. So Charlie's our,
crazy.
that's why
She's
so
a
crazy.
sweetheart,
That's
though.
why she's so
She
crazy
is.
now. But Whitley,
Yeah.
we did monitor it with Whitley. They went ahead and, even though Whitley was doing fine or anything like that, they went ahead and gave me like the lung shot or whatever to
Yeah,
help their
just to be
lungs.
safe.
To be safe, we monitored it, and they pretty much, every doctor we've spoke to has pretty much said it's just a freak thing that happens. It's not,
Yeah.
there's nothing we can do about it. So
Yeah.
it is what it is, but she's perfectly happy and healthy now. So
Yeah. Did you have any complications, Jess?
I did not before or after.
Aren't you lucky?
Ella was born a little early, but she was fine.
She was fine,
Yep,
yeah.
she went straight to my chest, and she was good.
Aw.
You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
If you are a Patreon member, VIP, you can watch our full video.
And don't forget to check out our merch at fourthemoms.com.